Hey folks, welcome to my channel Woodsmans Finest again for another spoon carving video. I want to present to you today a method that I came up with, and I kind of want to make the story short. So I do a lot of different crafts and sports, and I find myself to be a little bit confused at times, especially when it comes to methods and strict orders in crafting. May it be knife making, what to glue when and what to finish when, and it's the same with leather work as well. And I found it easier for myself to just come up with methods and with some little helps in order to keep me on track with these things. So being a bushcrafter as well, and a big fan of Dave Canterbury and the Pathfinder School channel, I saw him sometimes coming up with this 5C and 10C method of survival, and in my journey or in my search for a method for spoon carving, I found this kind of idea of a list with those capital letters kind of helpful. So I came up with the triple C method of spoon carving that I teach that way and that I practice that way, and that is it's a method that is in order, but at the same time it's kind of flexible. So you're gonna see what I mean by that. While I'm going through the carving, or while I'm carving, I'm not gonna talking a lot. I even gonna speed up the video a little bit, so when you are looking for a video about carving steps, or like carving different kind of carving basics, how to use the knife, different knife grips, different kinds of cuts in sloyd carving, then please look up one of my other videos, or one other video of all those folks out there, and those awesome carvers who also share their basics. So what is the triple C spoon carving method? It is a method you can apply from the beginning after you chopped out the blank, made it tangential, be it a tangential or radial blank, or piece of wood, and from that point on, using your axe, then using your knife, and finally after a few days of curing and drying, going over with your finishing cuts, you can apply the method again. So what is the method? The 3 C's are circumference, crank, and cleaning. So circumference obviously means, in this case I actually drew on a template what I do for my favorite spoons, so I don't have to kind of try to chase a certain design, but I just have it ready. So this is the circumference in that case of that eating spoon. Then when we're talking about the crank, we're talking about the side profile. That is extremely important in order to have a nice angle between the bowl and the handle, and in order to be usable for whatever you want to use it for. So that's the second C. First was circumference, second is crank, and the third one is cleaning. So in this case I went already over all those 3 steps basically with the axe. You can see there's more or less the circumference chopped out, there's more or less a crank chopped out, and even with the axe I helped already rounding some edges, and that is, so to say, the cleaning part for me with an axe. So now that we're going to the knife, and there is still a lot of material around the template that I need to take off with the knife, I again start with the first C, which is circumference, second the crank, and third I'm gonna clean it up. So what I want to say in the beginning is, as I said, it's a kind of a flexible method. So even with the axe, with the knife, there is some interchangeable parts of the method. So for example, people like very good spoon carvers, even like Lee Stoffer, who is definitely a very big role model in some things in his carving for me, and a very cool guy. He usually starts with the second C, so to say. He starts with the crank, he axes out the crank, and then he goes to the circumference. And you can even hop in between them. Sometimes I'm taking care of the circumference with my knife, and then going into the crank, and then there's something I need to clean up, and I go back to the first C. So those 2 steps are interchangeable, which makes it a very flexible method. and it just makes it easier for a beginner, and even me as a more or less long time spoon carver, if you can say that. I don't wanna use any big words, but I'm carving spoons for a while now. Even I just go with those steps, and if I'm having a day that I don't want to think about stuff a lot, and I just want to keep carving, then I just have those words in my head that I just know where I what's coming next, so to say. It also leaves a little bit of energy and space in my head, just in order to concentrate on stuff like trying out new things, being a little bit creative with decorations and all of this kind of things. Yeah, so one thing I want to say before I'm starting to carve it out and speed up the video a little bit is um, there is two things I want to say about spoon carving that is very important for me. First of all, if you want to, in general in crafting, there's one saying that has helped me out a lot, and it's a Native American saying I learned in making bows, because I used to be a bowyer as well. So this Native American saying goes basically like, if you want to build a bow, then just take a stick and cut everything off that doesn't look like a bow. And this very simple and kind of funny saying has helped me out a lot in crafting and carving in general, no matter what it is. If it's a log to an axe handle, if it's a bowl, I just take a piece of wood and get rid of everything that doesn't look like the end product. And of course it's not as easy, but if you have one of those days where you're getting a little bit confused over things, then maybe that's gonna help you. The second thing is that I have spent a lot of time in Japan, and I have learned a few things there regarding designs. And one of those things is, or the most important, what I saw in countless temples, in the swords I'm using in Japan for training and teaching here, in kitchen knives, in bowls, in anything. Form and function are always going hand in hand, and that is very important for me. That's why I'm saying things like the crank in a spoon is so extremely essential, because it is directly related to the function. Then decoration, when decoration comes in, which is in Japan very rare in a way, especially for everyday objects that are very, very functional. They are very rarely decorated, and if there's decoration, and I'm going with this as well, if there's decoration, then it never should get in the way of the function and the form, and it should, like, nor not to speak of weakening the structure. So yeah, with this last words about carving and spoon carving in general, I just want to start carving and cranking it out. So guys, now I'm here with the probably 80% finished spoon. I'm saying 80% because there's this Pareto Prinzip that says for about 20% of the work, the end, like the last 20% of the cleaning up and really going over your work and making it as good as possible, you need 80% of the time. So sometimes that's really like true. I probably took it took me probably like 40 minutes or something to chop it out and not to carve it into shape. And now until it's really finished, even like if I gonna paint it or the finishing cuts and all these things are probably gonna take another 40 minutes. So yeah, but shape wise it's 80% finished. And yeah, I hope you learned something today, and I hope you can apply the method somehow and it helps you in your carving experience. If you have any suggestions or if you have any questions for me, then please write them in the comment section. You can also contact me on Facebook and on Instagram on my channel's Woodsman's Finest, where you can also purchase some of my products, my leather work, my trainer work, and yeah, just get in contact with me. So if you had a good time today, please give me a thumbs up and a subscription to my channel. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.